gives me the opportunity to get out on the board as much as possible, but as low impact as possible. So I do plan on other, like just a dedicated cruiser. Like the board I have now is kind of like a 50-50 board, where it's half cruiser and half surf skate, right? And I do want a dedicated surf skate, but I don't want 20 boards hanging around. But the downhill board makes sense because of my location and my a little bit early here, so a downhill board and a trick board, because there is a ramp in the neighboring town, and the skating rink in the neighboring town has a much smoother concrete in it, right? So I can get away with a skateboard there. In my town, which is there's only 11 kilometers difference between us, but in my town, the skating rink is like for a skateboard with like little, 52 millimeter wheels or 58 millimeter wheels. It's just too rough. Like you can't get any speed. You can't. There's just no glide to the board. You need a relatively smooth surface for that. For the big longboards, it doesn't matter because they got big enough wheels that they'll cruise on anything, right? So my next board is probably going to be the trick board, but I'm probably I'm doing my research on the like the surfboard is only I've seen some surfboards for about $200, and if I have $200 cash and it's not too far from me, I'll after I get the brakes on this thing, I'll go drive and get it. Because there's quite a few rivers. The mighty Gatineau River has all kinds of. It's just a matter of finding where the backwater surf is for it. That way I don't have to drive all the way to Ottawa. So the surfboard is like the last thing on the list, right? But skateboards, I could, if I have a day off, I can use them on the day off, right? And again, it's a nice cheap way to have fun in the summer while I'm low on cash. That's what I love about the board I have, is that I'm going to try to do some slalom videos for you. So again, my surf skateboard, the trucks on it are absolutely awesome. I could even just swap out the board. I don't really need to I love the wheels that are on it. They're 69 millimeter wheels, 78A, so nice and smooth. They got the lip. So if I just even bought a dedicated surf skateboard, I could just switch that out. But I think for a surf skate, I think I want a slightly taller board. Where mine's, like I say, it's the compromise board. Even with the double-sized trucks, mine's a drop-through truck, so it allows my board to be... I've got a camphor and a concave on the board at the same time. So think of the board kind of gullied out like this, but then angled back like that, which gives you a really cool kind of high-mid section of the board for when you start pumping around on it, or what they call long distance pumping. But it's not a dedicated long distance pumping board. The other thing about my board, that's because it's a drop through truck, meaning the trucks are actually mounted to the top of the board, not the bottom. It allows the board to be lower. So if not, the board would be really high. Now, if you mount them on top, then you got yourself a dedicated surf skate. But because of the way the board is made, it would screw up the flexibility of the board. So what a lot of surf skate guys do is they add a 2-inch spacer or whatever, so the board goes from like this to like this. So when they really push on it, they don't get any wheel bite or whatever, but they can turn the board literally about the size of the steering wheel. So in other words, you can do slalom and surf skate. So my board's very, very good for surf skate, would be great in the bowl, that kind of thing, but it's not that you can't push off on it that much because of the way it's set up, because it's the compromise of being a comfortable cruiser longboard and a surf skate, right? So my board's kind of like the best of all worlds kind of thing. It's an awesome board, don't get me wrong, but if I wanted to do dedicated power slides and stuff like that, put some butterball wheels on there and do some surf skate with butterball wheels, that would be definitely a different setup. So again, that wouldn't be this year, but I do want a very long board. My board, I think, is 31 or 32 inches long right now. My downhill board, I want as much room as possible. Like my back door, my Sector 9 back door is only like 6.5 inches wide, right? Which for a trick board, that would be too narrow. But for like a cruising board, it means your foot can be just almost right beside it. You don't have to put your foot out here. You just do that. Like it's a really awesome board. You know, like the way it's designed is very, very, very clever. If I wanted like a dedicated cruising board, you'd get, you know, same thing, but you'd get even lower. You know what I mean? You just go with standard truck, so you'd only be about that. So you just basically you just use your toe to push yourself off of. Pintail kind of comes to mind for that kind of, where it's like there's no tricks, there's no high speed. It's just, I mean, you're gonna go fast enough. Don't get me wrong, you go fast enough to kill yourself on any skateboard. But I think the cool part with this is that it would give me you know, more dedicated tool to the job. So my downhill board's not going to be a compromise board. It's going to be a downhill board, and it will be pretty epic. It's just I don't know which one I'm going to go with, what style I'm going to go with yet. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I got a little bit of time to kill, and I'm going to make another video, and here we go. I hope it was a great day, eh?